The whispers started quietly, about her worn sweater, her scuffed shoes, the way she hesitated before sitting down. To them, she looked like someone who didn't belong. The hostess forced a smile. A nearby couple sighed, clearly annoyed that she was seated near them. But the woman didn't flinch. She folded her hands on the table and waited, eyes kind, posture calm. Her name was Maria, and she was there for a simple reason: to meet her daughter for lunch. The waiter took her order with little patience. When Maria asked for water instead of a drink, someone muttered, "Figures." Still, she smiled and thanked him. Years of struggle had taught her something most people never learned: dignity doesn't come from clothes, but from character. Minutes later, the restaurant doors opened again. This time, the room went silent. A confident young woman walked in wearing a tailored coat, calm authority in every step. The manager rushed forward, greeting her by name. "Ms. Carter, your table is ready." She scanned the room, then her face lit up. "Mom!" Gasps rippled through the restaurant as she crossed the floor and hugged Maria tightly. "I'm sorry I'm late," she said softly. Then, louder, "This is my mother. The woman who raised me. The woman who skipped meals so I could eat. Who worked 3 jobs so I could dream." The truth landed hard. The whispers stopped. Heads lowered. The manager stammered an apology. The waiter returned, suddenly respectful. Maria's daughter, a self-made millionaire, smiled, not with pride, but with grace. "Success didn't teach me kindness," she said. "My mother did." As they sat together, the room felt different. Lighter. Humbled. Because that day, everyone learned a quiet lesson. The restaurant didn't feel the same after that moment. People who had whispered before now avoided eye contact. A woman at the next table gently pushed her chair back, suddenly aware of how small her judgment had been. The manager personally brought over fresh menus, his voice unsteady as he apologized again. Maria listened quietly, nodding with the same calm grace she had shown all along. Her daughter, Elena Carter, noticed everything, but chose kindness over embarrassment. "Mom," Elena said gently, "let's order your favorite." Maria smiled. "Only if you're not too busy running the world." They laughed, and the sound broke the tension in the room. As they ate, Elena shared stories of her company, how it had grown from a tiny apartment office into a global brand. But every success story circled back to Maria: the nights she stayed awake sewing clothes, the mornings she walked miles to work, the afternoons she pretended not to be hungry. "I am rich because of her," Elena said quietly. At a nearby table, a young server stood frozen, eyes glassy. During a break, she approached Maria with shaking hands. "Ma'am, I just wanted to say thank you. I almost quit today. But seeing you, it reminded me why I'm trying." Maria reached out and held her hand. "Don't quit on yourself," she said softly. "Someone is watching you, even if you don't see them yet." Before leaving, Elena paid for every meal in the restaurant. Not to show power, but to leave peace behind. As Maria and her daughter walked out together, the same people who once judged her now watched in silence. Because they didn't just witness wealth that day. The story didn't end when Maria and Elena walked out of the restaurant. By evening, a short video had already started circulating online. Someone had quietly recorded the moment Elena embraced her mother and called her name with pride. No faces were mocked, no voices were shamed. Just a simple caption: "She was judged for her clothes, until her daughter stood up." Within hours, millions were watching. But back home, Maria sat on a small couch, folding laundry like she always had. Fame didn't change her habits. Elena watched from the doorway, her chest heavy with emotion. For all her boardrooms and awards, this room, the smell of warm tea, the hum of an old fan, was where her strength had been born. "Mom," Elena said, sitting beside her, "do you ever wish life had been easier?" Maria paused, then smiled. "If it had been easier, maybe I wouldn't have learned how strong love can be." The next morning, Elena did something unexpected. She canceled meetings and invited her mother to her company's headquarters, not as a guest, but as an honored presence. Employees lined the halls, curious and nervous. "This," Elena said during a quiet gathering, "is the reason I never gave up. When you talk about values here, kindness, humility, resilience, you're talking about her." Some employees wiped their eyes. Others thought of their own parents, their own beginnings. Later that day, Elena announced a new foundation, one that would support struggling single parents with education, childcare, and dignity. She named it simply the Maria Project. Maria protested at first. "I'm not special," she whispered. Elena squeezed her hand. "You are to me. And to every child whose future you'll change." That night, as Maria looked out the window, she didn't see luxury or success. She saw proof that love, when given selflessly, always comes back, stronger than judgment, louder than whispers, and powerful enough to change the world. The impact of the Maria Project spread faster than anyone expected. Applications poured in from single parents across cities and small towns, mothers working night shifts, fathers juggling 2 jobs, grandparents raising children with tired hands and hopeful hearts. Maria personally read many of the letters. She didn't rush them. Each story felt familiar, like pieces of her own past written in different handwriting. One afternoon, Elena found her mother quietly crying at the kitchen table. "Mom? What's wrong?" Maria wiped her eyes and smiled. "Nothing's wrong. I just forgot how many people feel invisible." Elena arranged a small gathering at the foundation. No press, no cameras. Just families. Maria insisted on cooking for them herself. As she moved through the room, people didn't see a symbol or a name on a building. They saw someone who understood. A young boy tugged at Maria's sleeve. "Are you really the boss's mom?" Maria laughed softly. "No, sweetheart. I'm just a mom." The child nodded seriously. "My mom works a lot too." Maria knelt down to his level. "Then tell her she's doing something very brave." That moment stayed with Elena. Later that evening, a senior executive pulled Elena aside. "I've worked with charities for years," he said. "I've never seen people feel this respected." That was the difference. The foundation didn't just give money, it gave dignity. Weeks later, Maria visited the same restaurant again. This time, the staff recognized her immediately. But Maria chose the same simple seat, wore the same modest clothes. The hostess welcomed her warmly. "Your table, ma'am." Maria smiled, not because she was known now, but because kindness no longer felt rare in that room. As she waited, she realized something powerful. Judgment fades. Wealth shifts. Titles disappear. But when compassion is passed from one heart to another, it quietly reshapes the world, one human moment at a time. Months later, Maria stood quietly at the back of a large community hall, watching families gather under warm lights. Children laughed. Parents smiled without fear. On the stage hung a simple banner. "The Maria Project, one act of kindness can change a life." Elena stepped up to the microphone, but her voice softened as her eyes found her mother. "This foundation isn't about money," she said. "It's about seeing people before judging them. It's about remembering where we come from." Maria felt her hands tremble, not from nerves, but from gratitude. After the speech, a woman approached Maria with a little girl holding her hand. "You don't know me," the woman said, her voice breaking. "But your foundation helped me finish my nursing course. Tonight I start my first job." The little girl hugged Maria without warning. Maria hugged her back, tears finally falling freely. That was the moment Maria understood something she had never dared to believe. Her quiet sacrifices had multiplied far beyond her own life. Later that night, Maria and Elena walked outside together. The city lights glowed, but neither of them rushed. "Mom," Elena said softly, "people judged you once because of your clothes." Maria smiled gently. "That's okay. I know who I am." Elena nodded. "So do they now." As they stood side by side, Maria looked around, not at the buildings, not at the success, but at the people. People who felt seen. People who felt valued. And the world felt different. Because judgment may be loud, but kindness echoes longer. And sometimes, the woman everyone overlooks becomes the reason countless lives stand taller tomorrow.